Hello guys, welcome to episode 48 of our Aston Martin Save. Now, if you didn't watch the opening race of Season 3, what on earth have you been doing? Go back and watch that. We had a cracking start in Bahrain. If we have a quick look at the previous race results, we got a P2 for Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso finishing 4th. A fantastic first race in which Max Verstappen actually dominated from start to finish. But as we may as well show you the standings, constructors-wise, we are second in the constructors, just 5 points behind Red Bull and 5 points off the lead. Will we get that close for the rest of the season? I don't know, but I thought I'd show it you now, just to show you where we are. Max Verstappen obviously leading 26 points, Pierre Gasly in second. But this weekend we go to Saudi Arabia and the Jeddah street circuit, 50 laps round here. Lewis Hamilton holds the lap record. Car attributes, top speed very important, and the medium and high speed cornering. We have made some developments over the summer that were in the pre-season episode. If you've not seen that one, we made a lot of developments, and now we are a much better car, it must be said, in this new Vantage era. The expected strategy is a one-stop from medium onto hard, but there is a high chance of safety cars around here, something that must be noted. So I'm going to get into the practice sessions, get all that done, and we'll see you in qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Formula One is back. Welcome to one of the fastest circuits on the calendar here at Jeddah. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is about to kick off and the atmosphere here is electric. The Jeddah street circuit has one of the fastest average speeds as well as the most corners of any track on the calendar. Good high-speed downforce is going to make life in the fast lane a little easier for drivers here this weekend. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. There's nothing like a race weekend in Formula One.
Q2 and Fernando Alonso had set a cracking first lap. Probably a very good job that he did, because he's obviously lost control there. Disappointment in the Aston Martin garage. We weren't going to bother showing you the end of Q2 because we felt we were totally comfortable. Alonso's obviously crashed. That's going to cost him a front wing. We don't need to see another replay of that, but we'll just fast forward this just to make sure that Fernando manages to get through, which it looks like he's going to do. And Fernando Alonso, despite crashing, is through to Q3. The surprise package being knocked out, probably after last time, Danny Ricciardo. Danny Ricciardo had a fantastic race last time out. He's now out in P12. Guan Yu Zhou, Lance Stroll, and Alexander Albon, all the other guys out. But 6th and 7th, for our guys. Max Verstappen looking particularly strong once again. So after Fernando's crash in Q2, he's green through the first and second sectors. Pierre Gasly, not so much so. Now, interestingly, both cars went out on a scrub set of soft compound tyres for the first laps. Fernando Alonso's green, but Pierre Gasly not having the best of laps. Fernando Alonso crosses the line, jumps up to P7. Pierre Gasly, he's going to need a cracking third sector to improve on his current time. Lando Norris stays in P10. Pierre Gasly jumps up to P5. He did set a better final sector, Pierre Gasly. If we just fast forward it a little bit, let's keep his eye on the left hand side and see where our guys are starting. Provisionally 5th and 7th. And it looks like that's exactly where they will be starting. Carlos Sainz is on pole position. Max Verstappen was quickest in Q1, quickest in Q2, but crucially, not quickest in Q3. So Carlos Sainz will get the pole position bonus point. Max Verstappen will start alongside him on the front row with Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez on the second. Gasly and Alonso 5th and 7th. Valtteri Bottas doing very well in the Mercedes as well. Rather nothing too crazy for the strategies. We had a little look at it. We had a look at a two-stop. There is a two-stop option to use all the different compounds. We have got fresh soft compound tyres as well. But at this moment in time, I think we're in a decent position. Medium to hard is the optimal, and I don't want to use the hards up too early, especially if there is a later safety car. And if there's a very late safety car, we've got the option of the soft compound tyres. So 5th and 7th, both on the standard medium to hard strategy. 5 red lights coming right up.
We're now moments away from this, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
And away we go, and it is Carlos Sainz who leads us away in this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix straight away. Pierre Gasly having a look and battle with Valtteri Bottas will ride on board with Pierre Gasly and Valtteri Bottas. And as you can see, Pierre Gasly straight away maintaining his P5 and having a look at the cars in front of him. In front of him, he's got Sergio Perez on the hard compounded tyre. The front three guys starting on the medium. Fernando Alonso will be having a look at Valtteri Bottas and thinking, can I get past you pretty quickly and keep up with my teammates? So as he starts, it's been led away by Sainz. Verstappen second, Leclerc third, Perez fourth, Gasly fifth, Bottas sixth, Alonso seventh, Russell, Norris gaining a place early doors, and Lewis Hamilton in the Audi. That Audi is just one hell of a livery. Well, we've got this coming in real life. It's going to be interesting to see if it is as good looking as this Audi livery, making up the top 10. You join us by lap 4. Pierre Gasly has managed to get past Sergio Perez. That hard compounded tyre not working particularly well for that Red Bull at the moment. And Pierre Gasly managed to get the job done into turn 1. He's now being told to use the ERS to catch up with the Ferraris in front of him. So hopefully Pierre can now chase after these guys in front and catch up with them. We don't want to be losing the DRS to those guys in front. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso, he's got Valtteri Bottas for company, doesn't seem to have enough in a straight line to get past the flying Finn, so he's been stuck in P7. Quite frustrating for Fernando Alonso at this moment in time. But Pierre Gasly, big job to do now. He's got to catch up with these two cars in front, these three cars in front, and re-get that DRS to maintain pace with the front runners. But lap 4, Max Verstappen has the lead, Carlos Sainz P2. Lap 5, fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Pierre Gasly on the last lap, and he did just what we told him to do. He's caught up with the Ferraris now, and he's very much in the fight for a podium in this race. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, he has dropped Sergio Perez as well, that must be said. A little bit further back is Fernando Alonso. He's got Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez in front of him. He's got to make these tyres work. And at the moment, he's just struggling to get past these two cars. And Pierre Gasly's showing that we have got the pace in this car to do a little bit here. But Fernando Alonso here, having a look at Valtteri Bottas, is he going to make the move? He isn't. He's got a chance to make a double overtake, but then he's just going to be leading this train. It might be worth Fernando just staying put a little bit and having the fresher tyres towards the end. Max Verstappen still leading, but Leclerc, Sainz and Pierre Gasly are in hot pursuit of the Dutchman. Lap 9, Fernando Alonso finally gets past Valtteri Bottas. It's a good move from Fernando. Forces Valtteri Bottas to the outside for the following corner, and to be fair, he's got the job done by the time he gets there, and now he's just got Sergio Perez in front of him on that hard compounded tyre. It must be said, we enjoyed it in the garage, we certainly did. It must be said, we were considering at that point having a little change of strategy with Fernando, but at this moment in time now, I think we'll leave him to it. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly just latching onto the back of these front runners and doing a fantastic job at the moment. Lap 10. We've got a crack on circuit. It is Mick Schumacher in the Williams, the Coinbase Williams, as you can see, spins it into the bollards now. Are we going to get a safety car? We've got yellers. No, race continues. Green flag running. Schumacher's now down to the back. We've got Stroll having a little lock-up. We saw a lot of this in Season 1. If you didn't see Season 1, this one's for you. And to be fair, that's what Fernando did in qualifying, but Lance Stroll's managed to keep it out of the wall. Fair play to him. Lap 10, we're just having a little look at whether Fernando could switch on to a two-stop. That's something we're considering at this moment in time. But apart from that, it is as you were, but Max Verstappen still leading. The Ferraris, despite having the DRS, can't quite overtake him. Lap 10. Lap 17, change of strategy for Fernando Alonso. He's in for a two-stop. We felt that this may benefit him a little bit, especially if we can get him out into clean air. He's in for the soft compounded tyre. It's going to be a short burst on these tyres, but we are going to gain a couple of seconds. This might hopefully bring him back into play with Pierre and the rest of the guys at the front. The key thing is, where is Fernando going to come out? We need him in a position to use these tyres. And in a position to use these tyres, he certainly is. He comes out P14 and he's got the soft compound on now. It is hammered time for Fernando Alonso. A couple more laps for Pierre Gasly. We may also try the undercut with him. Lap 17. Lap 18. Max Verstappen is in, and he's in for a set of the hard compounded tyre. Let's see if the undercut works for Max. I think that's going to be us to respond now. We need to respond. Pierre Gasly will be in next lap. Pierre Gasly pits from P3, as does Russell and Norris. Max Verstappen came out in P9. Both Ferrari cars have stayed out. This is the one and only stop for Pierre Gasly this race. Decent stop from our guys, 2.6, not too bad at all. Where does Pierre Gasly filter out in relation to Max Verstappen, who, remember, was the race leader? Pierre Gasly comes out of the pits. He's not that far behind. He has gained a little bit of time, I would say. Or maybe lost a little bit. No, he's lost a little bit. He's lost about a second, so the undercut is powerful. Pierre now needs to deploy and catch up with Max Verstappen. Fernando Alonso is still doing bits. Purple middle sector for Fernando Alonso, and he has got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the soft compounded tyre, lap 19. Lap 20, Charles Leclerc just had his pit stop, and as you can see, he's rejoined behind Pierre Gasly. So great work from Pierre there to clear the Ferrari. The undercut did work. Max Verstappen, we've got 1 second to Max Verstappen. He's been told to use the energy, push on the fuel, and maybe push on the tyres a little bit as well to get back in range of Max Verstappen, because if we can do that, it's a very, very different race. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso is now stuck behind a Haas and Guan Yu Zhou, but I'm sure he's going to clear them pretty quickly, especially with a little helping of ERS. It's now all waiting for Carlos Sainz to come in. And then lap after, Carlos Sainz is in. Right, this is huge. This is really significant. Obviously, Carlos Sainz is going to have the better tyres towards the end of the race, but where does Carlos Sainz come out in relation to the Gasman and Max Verstappen? As Max Verstappen has been overtaken for the lead by Pierre Gasly, and Pierre Gasly's made the move, cleared the Ferrari. Beautiful work from Pierre Gasly. We're going to have to harvest a little bit to get the CRS back up, but apart from that, that's really worked well. Gasly and Verstappen now effective race leaders. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso, has he managed to clear Guan Yu Zhou and Magnussen? He certainly has. Fernando Alonso now up to P8. How often do you hear this phrase? Lewis Hamilton has done Max Verstappen a huge favour. Max Verstappen managed to get past Lewis Hamilton on the DRS straight, which Pierre Gasly couldn't follow him through, and now Lewis Hamilton, he's been Max Verstappen's rear gunner. We've told Pierre Gasly, you've got to use the DRS. We're going to get an help in the DRS here. Max Verstappen isn't. We need to get past Lewis Hamilton and use the added DRS to get back towards Max Verstappen. Does he get around him as we get into this next corner? He does just about. He's had to use all the DRS. But Pierre Gasly has got to be frustrated with that, because he's not managed to keep with Max Verstappen, and Max Verstappen's now got a 1.2 second lead over Pierre Gasly. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso, soft compounded tyre, not working so well. He's got another pit stop to take, Fernando Alonso, but at this moment in time, he's 4 seconds back from Lewis Hamilton and Pierre Gasly. Yellow flags, lap 25, crash, Lando Norris, Lando Norris, car in the wall. I don't, again, think he's going to bring out a safety car, so it's just yellow flags. We haven't got a safety car. We're back to green flag running. Pierre Gasly cannot, he's just losing time here. The hard compounded tyre not working well. Lewis Hamilton has cost us a lot. We can't keep up with Verstappen and Sainz, and we can't seem to clear Lewis Hamilton, who is on 51% hard compound tyres. Fernando Alonso has got another pit stop to go yet. We may go along for a safety car. Lap 25. Lap 29, Fernando Alonso is in for his final pit stop. Did the change to the 2-stop work? You'd have to take in hindsight, possibly not. He's going to have the better tyres towards the end of this Grand Prix, but I don't think he's going to make up 6 seconds. I'd be amazed if he did, but you never know. Safety car could change a hell of a lot of things here. Fernando Alonso will rejoin. Where is he going to rejoin? Let's have a quick look at this. I'm intrigued to see if Esteban Ocon manages to get past him, which he doesn't look like he's going to do. He comes out P11, which is fair enough, and the cars in front of him, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in front of him that need to box. So it's not all over for Fernando yet. Charles Leclerc's managed to get past Pierre Gasly, and hopefully he can drag him back up to his teammate Carlos Sainz, but Pierre Gasly not enjoying it on the hard compounded tyre, lap 29. Remember the phrase from a minute ago? Pierre Gasly, he's not enjoying it on the hard compound tyre. Well, something's just clicked, because he's just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, no added DRS, and he's gained on the cars in front. Valtteri Bottas, the moving roadblock now is this Mercedes. We've got to clear him, and then we could be on for a podium again. So Pierre Gasly has dug it out from somewhere. He's just got to clear Valtteri Bottas at the earliest opportunity. To be fair, Valtteri Bottas should be pitting any moment. So if this Mercedes gets out of the way, it's all to play for the Gasman. Fernando Alonso down in P11. Lando Norris and Mick Schumacher are the two cars at the back. We haven't shown you the bike, but we thought we may as well. For it's going to be an exciting end. It's going to be an exciting end, and that's not accounting for safety cars either. Lap 31.
Now let's have a look.
Another crash. Lance Stroll. We saw him locking up earlier and avoiding a crash. This time,
Really, something went
just
very wrong
didn't.
there.
Tried to get the brakes on in time, but didn't. Broke his front wing. But meanwhile, you can see at the front, Pierre Gasly. Oh, and he's cut across. Sergio Perez has been a fantastic rear gunner for Max Verstappen so far this race. And he's doing it once again. Verstappen's got a 2-second lead on Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton's into the box. That's going to hopefully promote Fernando Alonso up into P8. Let's just keep an eye on this now. Fernando Alonso coming down the start finish straight. If I didn't push fast forward, Fernando Alonso now up into P8, 6 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas, who has pit and is on medium compounded tyres. Pierre Gasly is now up with Sergio Perez, and he needs to make light work of this man. He needs to make light work of Checo Perez and start chasing after Carlos Sainz. He's got DRS, he's got boxed in. Pierre Gasly is not having the most fun here, and Charles Leclerc's fancying a little bit of this as well. Pierre Gasly really needs to get the hammer down here, use overtake, and get past him, Pierre. And he finally has done, but he's done it just before we get to the next DRS detection zone. But we're going to be deploying all the way down this straight. Sergio Perez may hold Charles Leclerc up. He hasn't too much as he's pit. Pierre Gasly has now got to chase after Carlos Sainz. He's using all the battery down this straight. He's gained around 3 tenths. We'll keep him on that and see if we can get back into the DRS of Carlos Sainz, lap 34. Quick check-in on lap 40. As you can see, Max Verstappen 2.6 seconds clear at the front from Carlos Sainz in P2. Then comes Charles Leclerc, P3. Pierre Gasly all over the back of him, just having to manage tyres a little bit, manage the DRS. We dropped out of the DRS of Carlos Sainz when we were harvesting. Managing the battery on this is so difficult to do. But now he's in a battle for a podium, Pierre Gasly, and that's all we can ask for. Fernando Alonso very much in a race of his own, apart from he's got Lewis Hamilton behind him. But 9 laps to go. Lewis Hamilton versus Fernando Alonso. We don't mind seeing a little bit of that. But Pierre Gasly is just going to have to pick his moment when to attack Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen looks like he's got it in the bag. Lap 45, safety car is out. And straight away,
Sounds like there's been a crash.
we're hoping to pit under safety car. Let's have a little look. Sergio Perez. What happened to him here? Sergio Perez just crashes into the wall. It's a bad crash for the Red Bull. Let's see what happens here. So, we tell Pierre Gasly to pit. Looks like he's missed the pit lane. Fernando Alonso is going to get the chance to pit. Now, Pierre Gasly, as the safety car picked anybody up, it's picked up the front 3. So, Pierre Gasly may not be pitting. He's missed the pit lane. We were hoping to get him in and get him onto soft compounded tyres, but we are now, depending on what happens when we get round, but George Russell's going to catch up. So we're going to cancel the pit stop for Pierre Gasly, but obviously harvest on the tyres and harvest on the RS and conserve the fuel. But meanwhile, Fernando Alonso's back out in P8. He's onto mediums because he didn't have a fresh set of softs. But he's going to be on fresh mediums towards the end of this race. Pierre Gasly right back in it. We will come back when we get back to green flag running. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Safety car is in this lap. Max Verstappen will lead us away. Tyres are as follows. The front 5 are all still on worn hard compounds. Fernando Alonso, if he can make some moves early after this restart, the world is his oyster. We're going to ride on board with Pierre Gasly, who's been told to use the ERS overtake and try and make some inroads here. But the man we're more than interested in here is Fernando Alonso. He's got 2 racing laps to dispatch the cars in front of him, and first up will be Lewis Hamilton. He's got the tyres. Fernando Alonso has got the tyres to make a serious imprint on this. We'll come back when it gets going, but Fernando Alonso straight away looking at Lewis Hamilton left and right. ERS charged, fuel ready, let's have it. And this is it then, coming on to the final turn towards the final lap of the Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso, he's got to make some moves, he's got the tyres to do it. Will he be able to make a move on Lewis Hamilton, and then he could catch up to the cars in front, but he's not been able to get past that Audi. Lewis Hamilton's making that Audi as wide as 2 double-decker busters. He just cannot quite get past the Brit in that Audi. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly's having a look at Charles Leclerc thinking, I fancy a podium here. We're going to keep him on standard because of the tyre wear and the cooling of the tyres. We are struggling to keep the tyres down and in the optimal temperature window. Pierre Gasly doesn't look like he's going to have enough to get past Charles Leclerc, but Fernando Alonso, you've got to get past Lewis Hamilton. We're going to tell you to drive in clean air and try and get past him. Pierre Gasly, we may tell you the exact same thing here, because at this moment in time he's got George Russell behind him, but he's not much of a threat. Charles Leclerc certainly can be got at here. He's been told to drive in clean air and try and get past Fernando Alonso, looking left and right, using the tyres, using the ERS. Is he going to be able to get past Lewis Hamilton? He's going to get one last crack at it down this next couple of straights. But he's, even with these tyres, doesn't seem to be able to make an imprint. I expected Fernando to have such a better restart than this, and he's just not quite managed it at all. Pierre Gasly has dropped out. He's not going to get a podium today. He's going to be 4th and 8th. I expected so much more, Fernando. So much more on these tyres. And he just cannot quite get in front of Lewis Hamilton. I thought there were more for us there. I really did after that safety car restart. It's 4th and 8th from our guys. And unfortunately, it's a story of what could have been. If Pierre Gasly had not missed that pit lane, who would have known what could have happened? Because we'd have been on soft compound tyres and we could have attacked. We really could have attacked. But Max Verstappen wins again in Jeddah. It's 2 out of 2 for Max Verstappen. He'll be chuffed with that. We're a little bit disappointed, but maybe that just shows the progress that we've made. Max Verstappen wins, Sainz 2nd, Charles Leclerc 3rd, Pierre Gasly 4th, and we've got Russell, Bottas, Hamilton, Alonso in P8, Zhou in 9th, and Kevin Magnussen for the Haas picking up a point in P10. Driver standings wise, Max Verstappen extends his lead over Pierre Gasly. It's 21 points now to the Frenchman in P2. Carlos Sainz up to P3, Bottas 4th, Leclerc and Fernando Alonso drops 2 places to P6. Constructors wise, we drop a position to P3. Obviously it's early days, but we've got some upgrades coming for the next couple of races. Hopefully that's going to improve the car further. It was exciting. We are very much in the mix this season, there's no doubt about that. This new Vantage era has got off to a cracking start. I hope you've liked the first couple of episodes. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Sarah.